Welcome in to I Remember My First Time.
Fuck yes. My favorite.
Don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
God damn it. I swear, every fucking time we do this podcast.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
where we talk about movies we love with someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
Oh, nice. Nice. Love virgins.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
God, I hope not.
Do we like shitty movies?
Oh, BJ, we love shitty movies. Sometimes, even more than good movies.
Are we critics?
Absolutely not.
But do we love movies?
Oh, we love the complete shit out of movies. And this week's masterpiece, the 2011 classic from the Stiffmeister himself, Goon.
Jacob, take the number 69. It's hilarious.
BJ, you won the grand prize of 50 cocks in your mouth. Do you want them all at once or one per month for 50 months?
Play it out. 50 months.
Fuck yeah. Let me get really good at sucking that one and then move on to the next.
I am BJ Leica, and I think we both have a light in our stomachs. A special light, like E.T.
Joined as always by Jacob Ekus. And I have two rules, man. Stay away from my fucking Percocets. And do you have any fucking Percocets, man? And today on IRMFT, for the first time, we are joined by Cole Doherty, a movie and music nerd who still collects DVDs. Yes, you heard that right. Not even Blu-rays, the fucking heathen. And a record vinyl collection of over 1,000 records. A sports fan and player of the classic world-renowned game known as ground hockey, also known as soccer, or even football. So, perfect first-time movie for a first-time guest. Cole, say hi.
Oh my god. For that to be the intro, I was not ready for that. Jacob, goddammit, you nailed that.
Thank you.
You asked me for something to go off of, but if, I gotta say, love you both, but fuck you both for stealing every quote I wanted to say to have my intro. And BJ, you
We do
specifically
we
with
do
the
that to
E
David a lot.
A lot, yeah.
but I will say my stomach light needs your stomach light, and we can all phone home together on this episode. So
Oh,
I'm excited to be here.
that scene's fantastic.
The whole movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
Jacob actually told me, BJ, that you have been wanting to do this movie for a while, and I'm a big fan of Goon and the least Stifler of the Stifler movies, you know? So I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. I'm so ready for this episode.
Oh, let's get into Goon, a movie described by Peacock, he says with a question mark. Though a misfit among his brainy family members, a bouncer has a knockout punch that lands him a spot on a minor league Canadian hockey team.
That's the movie.
More or less.
Yep. Oh, I mean, it's called Goon and it's about hockey. I feel like it doesn't take much to pick up where it's going.
Fair. So, thoughts on the movie. I guess me being the virgin, for some reason, I thought that I had seen this, and for some reason, I kind of still think that I do, but I don't remember any of it, which is really rare for me after I watch a movie to remember none of it. But, honestly, I didn't like this movie.
Oh.
It wasn't fun. I was pretty bored the whole time. I thought it was a drag. I did, however, love the fight scenes. And I wanted this movie to be a lot better than it was. Like, I'm just thinking of, Sean William Scott, Stifler, role models with Paul Rudd. And I enjoyed his character in this movie, but because of who he is, I expected more out of the movie. And then you have Jay Baruchel, I think is how you say his last name.
Baruchel?
Baruchel, Jay Baruchel. So like I expected different than that. Like, I didn't laugh out loud once in this movie, not a single time, and it's a
Wow.
comedy. So my thoughts on it are just like I was kind of bored, and it just wasn't that funny to me. Also, side note before Cole, you go, I'm not I'm not a big sports movie fan to begin with.
Mhm.
Like they're not really my jam. So I have that going against me going into every sports movie I ever watch.
There's very little hockey in this movie, though.
I'm not saying that there's a lot of hockey.
It's more
I'm
hookers
just
and
saying
flow.
I'm just saying that I go into a sports movie thinking one thing because it's a sports movie. So I'm already starting the sports movie with a predisposition, which is why you did He Got Game for your birthday episode.
Yep.
So, Cole, your thoughts on the movie?
So I am completely on the opposite side of the boat. If you are starboard, I am bow in this situation. I can't agree with that in the slightest. I love this movie through and through from start to finish. You guys on the pod, you know that you do the whole is it a good movie, a bad movie? I will tell you ahead of time that this is a great fucking movie. To see Sean William Scott or Stifler or the Stiffmeister play a role so outside of the norm from what he normally does is it's amazing to me. I feel like he's a character actor in the same way that maybe Paul Rudd is, and I think that you guys kind of went over that in the role models episode that like Paul Rudd is he's Paul Rudd, or you know even actually I think in that episode you guys referenced Ryan Reynolds and the fact that he's kind of the same guy, but it works, right? That's kind of what Sean William Scott is in most of his movies, and this one is not his normal character, right? You know, he's normally an asshole, funny, you know, what have you, and in this movie he's the fucking nicest guy in the world.
But at the
that
same time, just a big dolt.
Exactly.
So
He's the biggest dolt. His brother is, as we will get into when we get into the Mount Rushmore of episodes, is gay. And you know, that comes to be in a lot of ways. But I
can I
think
interject real quick?
please, yeah.
3 things. First, what is adult?
What is adult?
Just
A dunce?
boring, dumb, dull, no personality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second thing, I did enjoy Sean William Scott character in this movie.
Okay.
Like, it was
Okay.
refreshing. I did enjoy that. We'll get into that with things that you liked about this movie, but I don't hate on that. And then third, just for our listeners, you know, I reached out to Cole because he reached out to, like, we used to work together, and then we didn't. And after we had the podcast, I told a bunch of people about it. He was one of them. And 6 months go by, and he's like, "Hey, I want to be on the podcast." And it was hard to coordinate. You were bad at responding, and I was just like, I'm like, I got,
Oh, it's on me. Yeah, that's fair.
no,
That's
yeah,
fair.
and it's just it's not that it was on you or not on you or on me or whatever. It's just like, you know, like, not a big deal, you know. Like
You're in another country. I don't have an excuse. You, you do.
it's just a stupid movie podcast. And then
It's my favorite podcast.
2 weeks ago, you hit me up, and you're like, "Hey, been listening to the pod, still want to be on. Like, great shit. If you ever do the Terrifier series, I want to be on one of them." And
And please,
one of my favorite one of my favorite months is October because we do only horror movies. Anyways, skip past that. 2 days after that text conversation, Cole texts me and goes, "Hey, if you ever want to do Goon, I'm down right now."
Was this
And
right after the Four Nations face-off?
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
it was.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it was. And BJ, like you had said earlier, has been talking about Goon.
Mhm.
Like, I do a movie podcast with my best friend BJ. I respect his opinions about movies. You're a big movie guy. I knew that from working with you, all this other stuff. So y'all's opinion about Goon, like, I'm going into this movie thinking it's gonna be great, which might be another reason that maybe I dislike it a little bit, because I went in with such high expectations.
Mhm.
And Sean William Scott. You listen
Yeah.
to role models. The fucking movie. Like,
Oh, yeah.
anyway, sorry. Keep
I know you
going.
love them. No, yeah, I think everything you said is spot on. I mean, I have watched every episode of the pod. I've watched several of them on multiple occasions. and like I said, several of them to rehash to get prepared for today's episode. And I knew that BJ was a fan of Goon. It was referenced in a previous episode. I think it was probably the role models episode when you guys were talking about, what to do in the future. And he mentioned Goon and that he wanted to do it. And I think I probably watched that one maybe like a month ago. And when watching, America versus USA and people beating the absolute fucking shit out of each other, I was like, God, this reminds me of Goon. And I was like, you know what? BJ said he wanted to do Goon. I've been begging Jacob to be on the fucking show for its inauguration episode. Let me be on the fucking show. Let's do Goon. And it's because I'm such a big fan of the episode, of the actors that are in there. And I have some some Kim Coates trivia to get into later, which if you guys aren't immediately privy to that, Kim Coates is the Halifax Highlanders coach.
An ultimate that guy.
Hold on.
An ultimate that guy.
Cole.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
There's a big potential that I want you to come back and be a reoccurring guest.
I would love that.
This is a movie podcast. Don't insult me with that guy actor. The second Kim Coates showed up in this movie, I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yes.
Fuck yeah!
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, so what is your, because when I think of him, he is Tig from Sons of Anarchy. Who is he for y'all?
What isn't he for me is the bigger question. Liev Schreiber is in the movie Goon. He's Ross, the fucking boss Ray, right?
Why is Liev Schreiber in this movie? It makes no sense.
Badass, because he looks fucking badass. But
hold on. Before we continue on Liev Schreiber, BJ, you want to know who Kim Coates is to me?
Yes.
The 1995 Kevin Costner blunder.
Waterworld?
Fucking Waterworld. I love that movie. I don't care how bad it's rated.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry. Keep going about Liev Schreiber. I just had to answer that question because it's fucking Waterworld.
So, the crazy thing about Liev Schreiber, right, is that people know the fucking name. But if you look at his discography, if you will, the movies he's been in outside of fucking Wolverine as Sabretooth, they're not prominent roles for the most part. And it's like, wow, you've been in these movies here, that, and the other. But if we're talking about my man Kim Coates for a second, his discography, if you want to go through the movies that man has been in, we're talking an endless portfolio of absolute gold. This man was Officer Thomas Gucci in the movie Silent Hill. We can save that for the Halloween episode. But he is in so many things. I mean, I'm talking The Island, Bandito, Unstoppable. I mean, and those are all the shit movies, right? I can go on and on. I can go on and on. He's been in probably like 1,000 movies. That's an over-exaggeration. And I'd be curious to pull it up. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was in RoboCop. He was in, The Client, if you guys are familiar with that one. He's been in He's been in so many fucking movies, at least in cameo scenes. It blows my mind. And for Liev Schreiber, Sean William Scott obviously is our main guy. He's the actor. He's the front man of Goon. He is our Goon. And Liev Schreiber, you'd think is your next guy, but you look at his repertoire, what he has to bring to the table, and it doesn't stand with Kim Coates, who, if you asked me who Kim Coates was on the street, I'm probably like, who the fuck is that? Is that a woman?
And before BJ starts going what he felt about the movie, it's funny that you say that about Liev Schreiber, because you're right. He has this persona of being this A-list top star actor.
Yes.
And then you have his brother, Pablo Schreiber, who is a that guy actor. And they're both the same kind of actor, but one is known as an A-list actor and one is known as a that guy actor.
Voicing Hard Knocks is very important for Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, and to have the name Liv, I mean, spelled the way that it is another big part of that. That's just a badass name.
And as much as I think Pablo Schreiber might be a better actor, Liev Schreiber looks like he can kick my ass.
Yeah, Liev Schreiber looks like kick my
Yeah,
ass and fuck my girlfriend in the same day.
yeah, exactly. That guy gets the role over Pablo.
When
So
when Liv Schreiber first comes on the screen, I was like, "Oh, I thought we were done with Hot Guy January."
oh,
God, it'd be
dude,
beautiful.
his fucking facial hair.
So, and I
Like
could be,
it's not often that a guy makes me hard, but
I
yeah.
could be misinterpreted. You guys haven't done War of the Worlds, right? The movie.
No.
Okay.
We're not
That's
big Tom Cruise fans.
I've picked that up from from the episodes, unless it's his Tropic Thunder cameo, which is one of the best cameos of all time, and you guys respect that. I know that you do. But Kim Coates is in the World of Worlds TV series from way back in the day, but we'll get to that later.
All right, BJ, how'd you feel about the movie? Oh, wait, hold on, Cole. Anything else? I know we got sidetracked a little bit. Anything else you want to say before BJ goes?
I mean, if we're just talking straight up points about the movie, no.
No, not yet. Not yet.
If you want to talk about what I didn't like about the movie, I have a
Not
very
yet.
strong what I didn't like, so I'll wait.
Not yet. We're getting there.
Okay.
BJ, how'd you feel about the movie on your whatever rewatch?
I've always thought this is a just like such an underrated movie. And I'm shocked that you didn't like it, Jacob, because it is vulgar, it is goofy, it is stupid. The fights are incredible. It's so bloody for a comedy.
BJ,
It's
I'm aware.
so bloody for a comedy.
I am fully aware that I should have liked this movie.
Yeah.
Like I watched it and I know that I should have liked it, and I understand why you've been excited to do it on the pod. So like I get it.
It's with the goofiness, the silliness, the hyper violence, and how goddamn sweet it is. This movie is exactly what it is trying to be. It does nothing that it is not trying to do, and I think it hits on every level.
Okay. We'll go right into what we liked about the movie. I guess I'll start since I did the thoughts. I like the fight scenes. All the fight scenes are fucking incredible. Every one of them was great. I enjoyed every one of them. I enjoyed how bloody they were. I looked forward to the next one. They never made me wait long either, which is a huge bonus for fight scenes, especially in comedies. And that's pretty much all I liked. The fight scenes.
Okay.
Wow. BJ, I'm gonna let you go next. I need to digest that.
So, obviously, I talked about the fight scenes. I talked about how vulgar it was. Jay Baruchel is just on one in this movie. He's on a heater. He's every. I actually don't think he's in the movie that much, but he is so demanding of the camera when he is on it that it seems like he's in it a lot more. I actually didn't hate the love story in this, oddly enough. I think I'll get more to that a little bit later. And it's so surprisingly sweet. And I love that it's a sports movie, but it's not like we won the big game kind of sports movie either. You don't even know the final score of the game, of
You
that
you
last
you
game when they end the movie.
you know that they lost 10 games in a row.
He won.
Yeah.
They won
We
3.
we are not following a good team.
Right. But we don't know, like, did they win that last game and make the playoffs? We don't even know because the movie's not about that. And I loved that about it.
You know what? I didn't even think about that or realize that, but I'll say that I like that about the movie too. Like there was no high stakes. It was just guys got like I used to bartend at a Dallas Stars ice rink. And the nights that I bartended was for the D League. They never practiced. They never showed up to get in sync. They showed up 40 minutes before each game, pounded 3 or 4 beers, went out and skated for an hour and a half, and then came up to the bar and got drunk.
And
That's what we watched. And it's
and I'll give you a PSA if you're a parent out there. If you put your kid in hockey, they can be at hockey practice and you can go to the bar inside a Stars Center. It's amazing.
It's the best. And it was one of my favorite jobs. One, I got to fucking chill. I tried to write a movie script. It was shit. because what are you gonna like? You just gotta wait for practices and random games where old middle-aged men and women. There were middle-aged women on these D-League hockey teams. Just an incredible time of my life. I enjoyed that. I didn't even realize that was part of what I enjoyed about the movie, but good call, BJ. Anything else?
That's about it. Yeah.
Cole, you ready? Did you digest what I said?
To which aspect? Did I just digest that you only liked the fight scenes of the fucking movie? I digested it. I regurgitated it and puked it right back out. No,
Fair.
I get where you're coming from, Jacob. I do. I think you have a very good opinion on movies. I knew that when we were working together back in the day. You were one of the people that I could talk about with movies that even if we didn't share the same opinion, I respected your opinion on movies. And, that's something that you don't get with a lot of people. And I think it's really cool because most people, if they don't appreciate my opinion on movies, it's typically like fuck you, you're wrong, and here's why. um, but I respect where you're coming from. There's a lot of aspects about this movie where, yeah, if it's not for you, it can drag on. And I don't. So are we into the what did I like and not like part, or am I still just dissecting?
Yeah. And
Okay.
if you want to do both of them back to back real quick, me and BJ will follow up with what we didn't like.
Okay, cool. So what I did like, the humor of the whole movie. It carries out throughout the whole thing, and it's a lot of subtle humor, right? I mentioned earlier that I think this is a completely different character for Sean William Scott. He is typically your asshole, playboy, fuck boy, whatever you want to call him, kind of character. And in this one, he's just a nice guy that you can't help but like. You love the guy for what he is. He's innocent, and I've looked at a lot of comments about this movie online and a lot of trivia about this movie online. A lot of people think that his character is autistic. I can see where people are coming from on that comment because he's just kind of socially inept, if you will, but just a nice guy through and through. You can't phase him. So what I did like about it, I think the character development was great. I think that Marc-Andre Grandin, who played Xavier Laflemme,
What an
was
amazing name that is.
Marc-Andre Grandin. Yeah,
Both and
Xavier
Xavier
Laflemme.
Laflemme. Yeah.
Okay, Xavier Laflemme is I don't know if it's supposed to be a joke about Laflemme because the like French using the phlegm in all of like the words, or Laflemme being like he's the flame of the team.
It
Either
is
way,
both.
yes,
It
it's
is
a
it is
fucking
both, in my
badass name.
opinion.
Yes, BJ, you are 100% correct. It's a badass fucking name. And he does reappear in the sequel, if you guys were unaware. So does Ross the Boss Ray and Sean William Scott. There is not a lot of things that I do not like about this movie. I love this movie, and that's why I wanted to do it. That's why I asked Jacob. There is one thing in particular that I am not a fan of about this movie, and it actually, every time that I watch it through, pisses me off, and it's the fact that Eugene Levy plays the role of like the condescending, nitpicky father of the you're not living up to the family expectation trope. And Eugene Levy is such a great actor who is so funny in the roles that he's in. And him and Sean William Scott work together on American Pie. There's the chemistry there. I wanted that chemistry to be like brought to the forefront. I wanted him to be funny. I wanted there to be like moments where he was funny. And the whole movie, he was just so fucking, I'm a disappointed father, and this is why. And it made me mad because I thought he'd recover with like a joke here and there, and it just never came. And that is my one nitpick of the movie, is that like Eugene Levy was not used to the standards that you should use Eugene Levy to, I feel like.
100% agree. Eugene Levy not being funny. Because this is probably like my third time to watch this movie. And I was like, oh, I forgot Eugene Levy was in this. And then the movie ended. I was like, oh, that's why I forgot Eugene Levy was in this. So yes, like nitpick, Eugene Levy should have been funnier.
Wait, am I mispronouncing Eugene Levy? Is it Levy?
It's Levy.
Wait, did I say? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
Go on.
So that I could have used 5 more minutes of screen time from Liev Schreiber. And also Jacob won't enjoy this, but I think hockey looks great on television when the games are being played, and I could have used a little more actual hockey on the screen. Jacob would have hate that. I know why they didn't. That's personal. And of no fault of their own, Shoresy kind of does it better now. The Hulu show Shoresy is basically a modern version of this, and I kind of like it better. Again, no fault of the movie's own. I'm just grasping at straws here. But if you haven't seen Shoresy,
Okay, so a couple things before I go with what I didn't like. Letterkenny's awesome.
what?
I haven't
It's
finished
better.
it.
Let's get at her.
Huh?
I have not finished it, but Letterkenny's one of those things
Give
that
your
BJ,
balls a tug.
yeah, BJ was like,
Wearing
dude,
curls
you
for you.
you gotta fucking watch this show. And BJ doesn't recommend a lot of shows to me. He's like,
Okay.
but you gotta fucking watch this show. Incredible. Two, BJ's family's from upstate Michigan, and one of BJ's favorite bits of trivia is don't try to outdrink Canadians.
Nope.
Don't try to outdrink the Irish. Okay.
Like what else? What like there's a reason that fighting is okay in hockey and you don't get disqualified because it's a Canadian
laugh.
sport. It's a Canadian sport, and you're fucking snowed in for 8 months out of the year. Of course, you're fucking angry. You're not even
Yeah,
you're not even hitting someone because you don't like them. It's just because you have this pent up aggression because you've been in the goddamn house.
Absolutely. And Canadians, I think, are the only people on this earth that can take an absolute fucking beating and still be nicer to you than anyone you've ever met.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is before the game even started. Homeboy was like, "You want to go?" Sean William Scott's like, "Yeah."
Hold it for the
And just-
Grail. Hold it for the Mount Rushmore, because
I enjoy the fighting in hockey. I'm not a hockey fan. I never have been. For the sole reason, it's just too fast for me. Like, you can get up to 20, 30 miles on those skates. The puck is fucking flying.
Yeah.
It's small. It's hard to see. It's hard to look at. Like, I understand it's violent. I understand it's fun. I get why people like it. I just I'm not trying to do that much when I watch sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the NFL will do 2 plays and then a commercial break. And they're going all out into each other and trying to hurt each other and kill each other. Like, it, in my opinion, it's just as violent as hockey. Just fighting's not legal, but it's slower. And I appreciate that. Like, I'm trying to watch cars take left turns. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to fucking do. I'm not trying to watch a puck fly at 50 miles an hour.
With guys just voluntarily diving in front of it.
Oh,
Like,
to the mouth.
Like, it just makes no fucking sense to me. Like, but whatever. Things I didn't like about the movie, all of it.
Oh, God damn it.
Because
I'm just so surprised because it seems like such a Jacob movie outside of the hockey.
I thought the whole time.
It's so goofy, it's so childish and vulgar and violent. I was like, this is perfect.
So, Jacob,
and coming into this movie, and like I said earlier, I realize that this movie is made for me. I'm watching it knowing that, and coming into it, Sean William Scott, Jay Baruchel, comedy, violence, crudeness, vulgarity. I know what I'm getting into. I know that I'm supposed to like it. And that's really that's probably another damning aspect that I didn't like about this movie is I thought and believed I was going to like it more.
So, Jacob, I have to say, I've probably seen this movie 15, 20 times, somewhere within that range. And when you asked me on Tuesday, hey, we're going to do Goon, you want to be on the pod? I was so excited because I've been waiting to do this forever. And again, like you mentioned, I'm hoping I can be a recurring member of this pod. I love it. I love what you guys do. I think you guys do a great job. Shameless plug for yourself on your own pod.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. But when I went to rewatch Goon, I'm watching Sean William Scott's character, Doug Glatt himself, Doug the Thug. And the only thing that I can think of is that this is the embodiment of Jacob Ekus as a movie fucking character. A guy who is I do not give a fuck. This is my opinion. If you don't agree with it, fuck you. I'll beat your ass. And I'm still a nice fucking guy, and I respect women. It's that is Jacob embodied. So when I was watching it, I was like, wow, Jacob's gonna fucking love this because he's watching himself play hockey. And then I texted him midway through, I guess, his watching experience. I actually texted him telling him that I was kind of like happily nervous to be on the pod tonight. And I texted him, saying that, and he's like, "Oh, I'm watching the movie right now." I was like, "Oh, cool, Nick. What do you think?" He goes, "Oh, 30 minutes. Could have expected a little bit more, but hoping that it closes out well." Or something along those lines. I don't think those are the exact words, but it hurt me because I was like, the fucking first 45 minutes are my favorite parts of this movie. So if you don't get that in the next 15, we're not on the same page, brother.
And again, and we need to quickly move on. We're at 32 minutes already.
Your
But
pods go an hour and a half times. Get out of here.
no, I know. It's not that I care that the pod goes long. I just want to I don't want to bore people. We have 5 listeners. I don't want to go to 4. You know what I mean?
All of
Like,
them. And
I'm like it's you, David, and 3 other random people. Because I'm not
I think
counting
you guys
E and
got more than you
BJ.
give yourself credit for. You guys don't have ads without at least 10.
Fair. Like, I'm watching this movie, and again, I know that I should like it. And I don't know, Cole, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is the honest memory, but this is the memory that I have in my head. When Cole and I worked together, Cole asked me to help him move. And just so all of our listeners know, I am the one person in the world that loves helping people move.
Yes.
Like, I'm unnaturally strong and I don't work out. Like, I was in the bed of a pickup truck and I had 2 people with me and they're like, "What can we help you with?" And I looked at them and said nothing, and then picked up a full fridge from the ground to the pickup truck bed.
So, Jacob, can I interject real
And
quick on this?
no, hold on,
Because
let me finish. Let me finish the story real quick.
okay, yeah, go ahead,
So,
go ahead.
so Cole asked me to help him move, and this is one of the things about my personality. I don't know if it's like I know it's my personality, but there's got to be like a lot of white privilege here too for me to just really delve into this, because I say some out of pocket shit all the time where people are just like, "There's no way this motherfucker said this." So Cole at work asked me to help him move, and I look at Cole and I said, "I love helping people move. You tell me what time and where, and I will be there. And the only thing I expect is pizza and beer. The only thing I expect. But there is one caveat. I do not pack boxes. I will not pack boxes. If I show up to your house and you're not ready to move, I will fucking leave." And there is no leeway here. None. Like, I can get you out of your house, couch, dresser, everything, mostly by myself. Like, the couch is long, the dresser is long. I might need some help, but I'll be on the bottom with all of the weight. I need you to fucking guide it, okay? Like, I got this. 4 stories up, doesn't matter. I got this. I showed up to this motherfucker's house. He has 3 other roommates. Cole's ready to go. His room's boxed. And Cole's roommates are like, "Yeah, we just need help with this stuff or whatnot." And I'm just like, "No, will not be doing that." I told Cole to tell y'all my deal. I do not pack boxes. I do not unpack boxes. I move shit. And
Jacob lift heavy. Jacob no organize. Jacob throw fridge on back and carry upstairs.
Exactly.
Jacob no organize book in box.
All 3 of these motherfuckers looked at me like they couldn't believe what I just said. And I looked at them and I went, "I'm not kidding. I won't move any of y'all shit that's not packed." And then I looked at Cole and go, "Where can I start?" He's like, "My room." Do I remember that memory right? Is that like true?
To the fucking T. And so much so that when I was trying to when I was trying to interject earlier, it was because me and my former roommate Abe, we actually talked about that not even like 8 days ago. Because I told him, I was like, "Hey, do you remember Jacob Ekus?" And he was like, Yeah. He worked at Tommy's. He used to, come over to the bar sometimes because Abe was bar managing at Kai, and you would go see him, you and Emma. And he was like, "Yeah, great guy. What's he up to?" And I was like, "Oh, well, he does a podcast, and I'm trying to be on it, and I think I'm actually going to finally get to be on it. I've been asked for a while." And he's like, "Oh, cool, man. I remember when he helped us move." I was like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, Jacob did help us move." And he was like, "Yeah, I remember that we are like, yeah, we got you guys pizza and beer, and We just need to move a couple things. And Jake was like, what do we need to move? I have 30 minutes. Let's do this right now. And we're like, well,
And I moved
you know,
everything in 30 minutes, packed it up
yes,
on the truck, and unloaded it
no,
to the new place.
100%. And it was the most man moment. I've never been made to feel, I think I'm a manly guy for the stature that I stand at. But for Jacob to make me feel like a goddamn child, this was the moment. This was the fucking moment. Because
And I'm not
it was
doing
like,
it
well,
on
we can.
purpose.
No. He was like, I'm on a time crunch. I want pizza. I want beer. And I want to go home. And Abe was like, we're going to start. I think we'll probably get the heavy things. Jacob was like, all right, well, where are we moving? He's like, oh, well, I got to pack up a few things, like Jacob was saying. And I was like, well, my room's packed up. And he was like, okay, what do you guys need me to move? And it was becoming clear and evident. Jacob's like, let's get this thing done. Let's start moving some shit. And then Jacob asked me, he goes, what's the fucking heaviest thing that you think you need my help moving? I was like, probably the washing machine. And he goes, cool. Picked the fucking washing machine up and walked it down 3 flights of stairs by himself. To the truck, loaded it up, came back up, grabbed my fucking dryer, proceeded to do the same thing, put it in there, and goes, all right, where's the pizza? I was like, motherfucker, 5 of me can't lift my goddamn washing machine.
Oh, that's why they have appliance dollies.
You did it for a slice of pizza? Jacob's Moving Service. That's a shameless plug, guys. Call him up.
I love helping people move.
No, yeah, helping people move is one thing, but moving my entire life, and I haven't even finished my sentence yet, is a different story. You were just ready to eat the fucking pizza, and I watched you lift my washing machine like a Greek god. You have the beard of the dude who's the main character in God of War. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game, but goddamn, Jacob.
Sidebar real quick. I don't care how the rest of this episode goes. You've heard my IMDb reviews. When someone says the right kind of shit, they're automatically welcome on the pod, even if I disagree with them.
Yes.
You make me feel like I have a 16-inch dick. You're welcome here anytime. Okay?
All you got to do is call Jacob a Greek god on the podcast, and you get a second.
Yeah.
Oh goddamn!
Like honestly, let's get you above David on appearances.
Oh hell
Fuck that guy.
This is a 3 out of 4 from Ebert. He loves the vulgar, sweet movies. In a review titled "A Hard-Headed Hockey Rookie," that's a tongueful. Here's how much I know about hockey. Mike Royko and I were in a tiny bar one winter night, and the radio kept reporting goals by the Blackhawks. I mentioned how frequently the team was scoring. You're listening to the highlights, Royko observed. If that's how much you know about hockey, you're never less likely to enjoy Goon. The charm of Goon is that Doug Glatt is a genial guy from a nice family. Just because he hands out concussions doesn't mean he dislikes anybody. He's just happy to be wearing a uniform.
Okay, so 2 real quick. 1, that was one of the wordier little paragraphs by Ebert. Like, it was well written, but it was pretty wordy. And 2, for those that don't know this movie has an incredible tagline. Whatever the guy's first name is, Gatt, Doug Gatt, meet the nicest guy you'll ever fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Great tagline.
100%.
Great tagline. But BJ will pick a paragraph in his review, and typically...
Oh, that's not even the whole thing.
Yeah.
No.
Typically, typically the paragraph is so well written and so good. Sure. Even if it's a bad review or one I don't agree with, it's typically so good. And that one was just, in my opinion, a bit wordy.
Yeah. Yeah, Ebert, I think, has some of the best reviews I've ever heard, and that's strictly from y'all's podcast. But Ebert's got his thing, so go ahead.
Ratings, BJ.
6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 81% Rotten Tomatoes, and 64% Metacritic score.
The 81% of Rotten Tomatoes is... I appreciate that.
I was kind of shocked. That's about probably what it should be, but I was kind of surprised it was that high at the same time.
100%.
I don't think I agree with that's what it should be. I think it should be right around where IMDb sits, like 68%. So like for me, the Rotten Tomatoes is really surprising because 81's pretty high for a low budget movie who didn't make any of its money back. We'll get to that later. With
Okay.
a Sean William Scott character that isn't Sean William Scott, which again, I enjoyed that. And a Eugene Levy that's not fucking funny.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. I can
the
agree with that.
81% is pretty surprising to me. Like, I understand people liking this movie. I understand that I was supposed to. Like 70% still good. 6.8 to 70%. 81 surprising to me. Like we've done some good movies on this podcast and they're under 81. I'm just like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, this was a good movie too. I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes is literally, did you like it? Did you not? Like there aren't a whole lot of movies that I say I didn't.
Yeah,
Most of them,
100%.
most of them, like, I don't care that I spent an hour and a half to 3 hours watching that.
Yeah, and I
Like,
mean, I actually, I don't think I've heard you guys, unless I missed it in the intro, but are we critics? No. That I may have missed that part in the intro, but I don't think I heard it. Critics can suck my fucking dick. They don't know what a good movie is.
we are not critics. We're just a couple of dicks who like
Correct.
talking about we like talking about movies. And even though BJ and I will talk about really serious movies and whatnot, this movie podcast is solely for movies that are fun to talk about. Like you want to hear me and BJ fight about the fact that I think Quigley Down Under soundtrack is fucking phenomenal, and I'm not
Yes.
I'm not a soundtrack guy. That's what you want to hear.
That's exactly what I want to fucking hear.
So for the Mount Rushmore of scenes when we have a guest on, what we do is instead of going back and forth, BJ's gonna do his whole Mount Rushmore 4 through 1. If you have something to say, you're more than welcome to, or you can save it if you share the same scene.
I got it right here.
And then Cole, you will go as the cream to the Oreo, and then I'll go last.
You didn't
think-
have to
I
say
think-
the cream to the Oreo like that.
I think my one will probably be in
BJ,
somewhere.
I have to. I intentionally want to make things awkward on the podcast, just like when I said that I enjoy virgins. Cole, another behind the scenes to IRMFT, I told BJ that I wanted a recorded intro.
The
that-
Pornhub clip that we were talking about?
Just
Okay.
us saying like, welcome to IRMFT, remembering first time, cherry popping. I told BJ that I wanted a recorded intro. And BJ was like, and BJ goes, no, we should do it fresh every time. And so now I try to make it as awkward as possible sometimes. Not every time, because every time would be lame and boring and I'd run out of ideas. But I try to make it awkward as fuck. I don't know if you listened to a couple weeks ago, but
I believe the first
yeah.
episode after you suggested that was Die Hard, and I fucking lost it in the intro. And you were like, "You're right. We should never, we should never record an intro."
We should never record, because if we recorded, we wouldn't have 2 weeks ago. I think it was White Men Can't Jump when I went, ugh, I love virgins. And BJ had to stop what he was saying, and he goes, never, ever say that sentence. BJ, Mount Rushmore scenes.
All right. My number 4 scene is the puck to the face. The puck to the face scene where, what's her name? Is it Allison Pill then breaks up with her boyfriend and gets with Doug, and Doug, being the ever nice guy, just lets him beat the shit out of him because he's that fucking nice. And just the brutality and the blood of the puck to the face. That's my 4th favorite scene in this movie. I think it kind of encompasses it with the hyper violence and the sweetness all in one. That's my 4th favorite scene in this movie.
Okay.
Number 3, a scene I absolutely love. Doug gets introduced to all the boys in the locker room. I love the captain being mid-divorced. That's hilarious to me. I don't understand why. It just was hilarious to me. His little yes men buddy, the 2 big dumb Slavic dudes, and the goalie, because goalies are always weird. And the best line in the movie is, there are 2 rules in this locker room. 1, don't touch my fucking Percocets. 2, do you have any fucking Percocets, man? Is the best line in this movie. I love a getting the crew together scene. That's number 3 for me. Number 2 is the Eddie Guerrero, because we always lie, cheat, and steal on this podcast in Mount Rushmore, and it is anytime Jay Baruchel is on the screen, because I
Yep.
don't think it's that long. It just feels so long because he is just on one the entire time. I mean, this guy's coming off the bench playing 12 minutes and somehow putting up 20 points. It's a great performance. So that lie and cheat and stealing, Jay Baruchel. And number 1 scene is Liev Schreiber in the diner and the talking to Doug Glatt and the final fight scene.
Great scene.
Those two together is wonderful movie making cinema.
Love it. Love it. Great scenes, BJ.
Cole, what do you got? What's your Rushmore?
Oh, I go in the middle? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you are the cream to the Oreo, as Jacob said earlier.
So
Appreciate
I
that.
think unpopular 4 for me is the Ross Ray fight. The apex meeting between the two of them. I think there's a lot of buildup. Ross obviously threw off his gloves to try and bait, Sean William Scott's character into fighting him the first time. They got sent to the box. And
Great move.
yeah, just try and build that anticipation. And then finally he was like, hey, kid, tapped on the glass. You ready to go? You ready to do this thing? That was my number 4. It's an amazing scene in this movie because it's been building up the whole time. They got the soundtrack leading up to it, and I love it. My number 3 is one that I think is probably an underrated scene. And I don't know how else to title it other than the "My Brother's Gay" scene. But
so hard for me not to put that in the movie.
It's such a good scene.
I had it labeled the faggot scene. Yours is probably a little better.
My brother's gay scene. It goes, because he says, "Oh, fucking faggot."
The delivery of "Hey, my brother's gay" by Sean
Exactly.
William Scott.
Exactly, and I had that written down as the "Hey, my brother's gay." He whispers it, but even before that was maybe 2 minutes prior. He's eating the corn dog, and he holds them out to the camera and goes, "These are tasty treats." And I just love everything about that scene, how innocent he is, and how he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to get over being in a bad mood," and this, that, and the other. And then that guy's all fucking pissed off, ready to fight. And he goes, "My brother's gay." And he headbutts and breaks his fucking helmet, knocks him out, and you get the rest of the movie from there.
The genius of that scene is showing everybody early that Sean William Scott is not playing Stifler in this movie.
Yes, he's a nice guy that's fucking indestructible. My number 2 scene is very, very early on, and this is why when Jacob said 30 minutes into the movie that he wasn't a fan, I was so surprised. My 2 scene is Doug the Bouncer, is what I called it. And it's because of all of his interactions with the bar patrons as a bouncer. The first one being when he's checking the ID of the first girl in the movie, and he goes, "Brown eyes? But you got blue eyes in real life, and it's a white girl, and the ID is very clearly a black girl." And, and he's just so your ID says brown eyes, but you got blue eyes in real life. And he's just being such a fucking nice guy. And, it just keeps pushing through after that because he's got Jerry, I guess, who is your regular old bar patron. And Jerry's like, "I didn't win a prize." He goes,
That's a
"Well,
jukebox, Jerry.
He says, "Jukebox, Jerry." and, and I fucking love that because, again, he's such a nice guy. And then that scene closes out with him beating the shit out of a guy who they kicked out of the bar. And he goes, "I'm really sorry." And the guy goes, "Fuck you." And he hits him one clear straight in the nose and knocks him out. And I love every bit about that. Before I do get into my number 1 scene, my Mount Rushmore of scenes, my Abe Lincoln of scenes, whatever you guys want to call it, there are a couple scenes that didn't make the cut for me, which would have been the goalies.
Before you continue,
yeah, go ahead.
When we get done with the Mount Rushmore scenes, we will quickly hit honorable mentions.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and move to your number 1.
I'll go straight into my number 1, and this one's kind of going to be a long one. I'm going to try and go through it as fast as I can, but because I have so many quotes from this movie, since I'm 28 years of age now, I've been quoting this scene since I was 14, and it's his first day with the Halifax Highlanders. my favorite part about his first day with the Halifax Highlanders has to be the one punch KO, where he's holding on to the guy and the coach said, don't do anything till I tell you. And he's looking at the coach and he goes, knock him out. And he just turns and hits him once in the jaw, drops him to the floor. But
And the look the
prior,
coach gives is
exactly. He
brilliant.
goes,
Whereas
all right, yep, that's my
hit him,
guy.
dumbass.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? But it's all of there are so many lines in that scene that I quote, and I'm going to run through them real quick because I have them all written down. But what's so funny, giggly bits? Great. Skull fuck your mama when they're holding his helmet with his mom painted on the side. You Chernobyl motherfuckers. When he's talking about them, kills me. When they tell him, your mama's pussy so tight, no way, baby, come out, no way. To this day, has me rolling. The Percocets line that BJ you mentioned earlier. Do you have any Percocets? And don't touch my freaking Percocets. Where is Xavier Lafame? He's probably somewhere in a parking lot giving a single mother herpes.
Incredible line.
Then,
how did Jacob not laugh at that line?
Exactly, right? And then we go to the after the game mark, because I concluded that all in one scene. The first day with Halifax, like I called it. It's pre-game, during game, after game. After the game, sign his dick was what they let off with.
There's a line in this scene.
Is it
very near and dear to our hearts?
So,
very near and dear to our hearts.
The next one is, did Mama whip up a little pussy pot pie? Which kills me. Then when Sean William Scott is asking them, he's like, my brother's gay, and I've never signed anyone's dick. And he goes, well, that's a little gay with a dash of something else. Because it's two brothers who are signing each other's dick. And then at the very end of that scene, when he goes home, he gets home and Xavier Lafame is on the couch in a fucking Speedo for whatever the fuck reason.
Because he's French.
He steps on the carpet and Xavier Lafame immediately goes, you fuck the carpet. I said that so many times in high school. You fuck the carpet. I can't even pick up with it. And then he offers him some blow and Sean William Scott goes, nope, beer and soup. That's my thing. And then the end of the scene, he goes, well, I'm going to go to bed. You ever jerked off on ecstasy before? And he goes, jerked off on ecstasy? He goes, bon oui. And walked off. It's so goated. And when I was remembering the whole scene, the one quote that I missed from that scene, and that's why this whole scene as a culmination is my number one, is when he gets scored on, the goalie, the fucking defenders roll up and go, 5-hole. And he goes, we're on the same fucking team. Is anyone looking at this shit? And I, every time, die because I can't picture my own defenders going, 5-hole pussy.
I really wanted a spin-off of the goalie and the two giant-ass Slavic defenders.
Yeah, and he's from Virginia. Are you
Regina.
kidding?
Goalies are always weird, you know that.
That is my Rushmore. I do have my honorable mentions, but like Jacob said, I'll get into those later.
For my Mount Rushmore things, before I really get into it, one of my favorite things of the podcast is watching these movies with my girlfriend.
Oh, Nemma, yeah.
I would not have recommended this movie to her.
It's not that I would have or would not have. Like, I'd never seen it, so it doesn't matter. Like, she typically watches my podcast movies with me. But one of the funniest things that has come out of my podcast, and we're now not rewatching, but finishing Game of Thrones, is all of the dick and gay jokes and half-naked men that are in these movies geared towards men, like Roadhouse. I don't know if you've watched the new one, Cole, but Conor McGregor bends over and you see his bunghole.
Yeah, I watched y'all's pod about it. I didn't watch it personally, though.
And Nemma looks at me and she goes, this is made for men?
We love asshole.
and we're watching this movie and she's like, God, there's so many, like, just homosexual dick jokes. Like,
Nemma's such an innocent human being.
And it's one of my
come on.
It's one of my favorite things because I'm just like, never thought of it that way. That's just how guys joke around. It's like,
love
Yeah,
you-
you have never been to a locker room before? Oh wait, no, she hasn't. Of course not.
she's
we
like,
love dicks, but
what?
we don't love dicks.
And she's like, what do you mean this is how guys joke around? And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
We
And
touch
now,
dicks.
and now that you bring it up and you say your concerns and your thoughts, it makes so much sense. Because why is Conor McGregor bending over and I can see his bunghole in Roadhouse? And then why do I give that movie a 9 out of 10? Like,
Why am I upset that we didn't get to see Jake Gyllenhaal's butthole in the same regard?
exactly. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Michael
So
Douglas, show us your dick.
Cole, I think you might be our first guest that's ever said that.
Excellent. That was wonderful.
Appreciate you being such an avid listener because you even know why we say it.
Yes.
Because fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck
It's not because we want to see Michael Douglas's dick.
no, who wants to see his old wrinkly dick? But show us your dick.
This is different than what I'm talking about now, about what Nim has realized about movies geared towards men. This is different. I don't want to see Michael Douglas's dick. I don't care. This motherfucker got paid $16 million. And Sharon Stone got paid $500,000. And she showed her wahoo-ha. Show us your dick, dude.
You are a warrior for justice, Jacob.
I appreciate that, PJ. Thank you. Thank you. My Mount Rushmore scenes, now that I've gotten that out of the way.
Please, yes.
Number 4, and we're a big fan of montages here, is the first montage of the movie. It might be the only one. Just him being on the team, just the quick bits of fights, him being on the team, him really like, and at one point Nim was like, what is this movie about? And like, again, I understand that this movie is made for me and I should like it. So without missing a beat, I'm just like, this guy who is not great in his family or whatever, finds somewhere where he is needed, special, and he cares about what he's doing. And all he's got to do is stick up for his teammates. Because just like football, hockey, like these are violent men. You know, like, and that's what it is.
I will say it is hard to explain what an enforcer on a hockey team is to somebody who doesn't watch hockey.
Alexander Ovechkin.
And even nowadays, if you're watching hockey now, I don't think that's a role really on any teams anymore.
No, I mean, the old star, Dallas Stars, Steven Ott was the last enforcer that I can really reference. But like now,
well, and even when it comes to enforcers, like even back then, like, and I don't watch hockey, I could be wrong, but when I was explaining this to Nema, I was like, this is very much like this does happen in the NHL. And hockey is made to be able to fight and not get disqualified for matches. Like you go out, if you instigated the match, like you go out longer than the other person who fought you, but you both go out. Like that one scene where they were like, hey, you want to go? Both those guys go out at the same time. So there's no power play. Like I know enough how hockey works. Like fighting is built into the rules in the system.
Yep.
Like I understand that. And I like that about hockey. But I told her, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, that I was under the impression, and again, earlier with rules and everything, when it was even more violent than it is now, like I'm not surprised that this is part of NHL teams, but this is more of a minor league thing. Even today, like minor leagues have goons. They have the enforcers.
I'm not watching the NHL. I'm not watching a lot of minor league hockey, but that's my assumption.
And that's kind of mine, because I told them, because unlike the NFL, who has the Canadian Football League, which is not even a minor league, it's just a whole separate thing. Yeah. Like minor leagues for hockey, basketball, and football or baseball are an actual thing. Like a major league baseball team will draft you and be like, oh, you need to go to the minor league because you're 20 years old and your talent's too raw. Yeah. And that happens all the time in these other professional football or professional sports leagues, which is why, and like when I explained this to her, like goons are more that than NHL. Yeah, but again, but again, NHL is still built for fighting. There's a reason that in the first 30 seconds of the USA-Canada match, there were 3 fistfights.
Well, that was because of the disrespect that Canada put on towards the United States.
No,
but
no, I know, but it's still like fighting is built into the rules.
In hockey, hell yeah.
That was I got over it pretty quickly, but being a lifelong Stars fan and hating Keith Kachuk for 15 years of my life, and then immediately being like, these Kachuk boys are pretty cool.
You love the brothers? Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm as you can tell from the jersey, I'm a Blackhawks fan. So, like, to be a fan of Patrick Kane and the lack of fighting has been tough because I like my biggest, most favorite aspect about hockey is the fighting aspect. And if you look at anyone who's been anyone on the Blackhawks for the last, I don't know, fucking 10 years, they're not players that fight. They're
What
players that hide behind a curtain.
So before I go on with my other scenes, I just want to say that one of my least favorite things about hockey, and my stepdad never did this, but with you being an avid listener, you know I love to shit on that man and my real dad. So
You call your real dad a piece of shit, but continue.
they're both pieces of shit.
he's
and I
called
love
them
to-
both
it-
pieces of shit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I love to shit. I love
That's
to
fair,
shit
yeah,
on both of them and my stepdad. Like I've shit on all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, you're 100% true. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. Okay.
Yes.
Not that my stepdad ever did this, but one of my least favorite things about hockey fans, and none of us three have talked about this. So I think that y'all aren't like this, but one of my least favorite things about hockey fans is when hockey fans are just like, we're a violent sport. Football's not. I mean, just fuck off. Okay. Like you're full speed all the time on skates, but also at the same time, when you get in a fight, how much leverage do you have on your right leg? Okay. Like that's where the real power comes from. And I'm not saying getting hit in the face fucking doesn't feel nice. Like it still hurts, but like they're both violent sports. Like fuck off. Like who cares? Like you can argue to me all day that it's nonstop and there's less commercials. I'm not even going to be like, hey, you're wrong. But to tell me that football is less violent than hockey,
Yeah.
like
No,
when
I
you
don't
line up
agree with that.
across from
Yeah.
another person, like you're trying to fuck them up.
Yeah.
Like they are both violent sports played by violent men, modern day gladiators.
I think
the
that's
crazy thing
more
about
violent.
the crazy thing about hockey is they played on Monday and then they're playing again on Wednesday.
No,
That's
that is crazy.
wild.
That is crazy, and it is wild, and they have a long season. The craziest thing for me about hockey is, I've already said this, is fighting is built into the rules.
Yeah.
Like you got to do some fuck shit to get disqualified. Like the other team has a power play. You shouldn't have thrown a punch. You'll be back in 4 minutes. Like that's the craziest thing to me. It's fucking nuts.
If someone's never watched hockey and they watch two guys just swing at each other for a minute and a half
Until
and
one person's knee hits the ground.
yeah, and then they're like, wait, they're back on the ice in 5 minutes? And you're like, yeah. That's gotta be a wild thing for a non-hockey fan. 5 minutes? They should be suspended like 4 games.
Okay, so
total random.
Go ahead, real quick.
I was gonna say total random introduction. Can we talk about how great of a line that "gay porn hard" is in this
So
fucking
good.
movie?
So good.
Gay
and
porn
again,
hard.
it's one of the things that you're just like, this movie's made for men. Like that's such a wild line, but it's such a great line.
That's a great one.
And another great line by Will Coates is, I don't know what's making y'all ovulate, but y'all need to figure it the fuck out.
Yes.
Earlier, I said I didn't laugh out loud at all during this movie. I laughed out loud at that line. That was the most hilarious sexist line I've ever heard in a movie in my life. So my number 3 scene, to keep moving on, is the concussion scene.
For
Homeboy gets a concussion. I don't know their names. I didn't care enough about the movie. Homeboy gets a concussion, and Sean William Scott rolls over and beats the absolute fuck out of this guy.
Okay, so fun. Yeah.
Love that scene. Loved it. My number 2 scene, which you would think it'd be my number 1, but my number 1 is that Eddie Guerrero lice and chill. My number 2 scene is the all-out brawl at the end. We're just both
they're defending him. Yeah.
Where both hockey teams just beat the absolute fucking shit out of each other. Incredible. Like, again,
you're Eddie
I realize that this movie's written for me because these fight scenes some of the best violence I've ever watched on TV, and I've been watching Korean foreign violent films lately.
There's no reason the fight scene should be this good in a sports comedy movie.
There's not. And real quick, Cole, you can go ahead and guess my life, cheat, and steal number one scene. What do you think it is?
So originally, I would have guessed it was any scene with Jay Baruchel. Obviously, that's not the case. So now, I think it's just any run-of-the-mill fight scene in the movie.
Yep, that is my number one scene. Eddie Guerrero, life, cheat, and steal. It covers my number 2 and 3 scenes. Anytime there's a fight, anytime there's blood, they do such a great job at shooting it. They do such a great job. Because, like, one of the things that I already brought up and told Nema is it's easy to make two things. It's easy to make fighting legal in hockey because it's a Canadian sport. And for 8 months out of the year, they're shutting the fucking house. They don't even care who they're fighting. They just need to, like, I want to kill myself for being in a house for 8 months out of the year. I need to beat the shit out of someone. And then 2, you're on ice skates. How much leverage are you going to have? Yes, getting hit in the face hurts.
Yeah.
But you're not getting hit in the face by a 200-pound dude with all the leverage that he's got to the jaw. There's a reason, and that referees don't get into it because it's going to take 10 seconds for one of them to fall. And just because one of them falls doesn't mean they lose. They're on fucking ice skates. I'm from Texas, okay? Understand if people from the South don't understand how ice skates work, okay? It takes 15 seconds. The fights don't really, no one breaks a jaw. You might break a nose. You might lose a tooth. This is a violent sport played by violent men. The fight scenes were shot incredibly. I didn't think they were unrealistic. Just incredible.
Oh, they're very realistic. Even when he's holding that man's jersey and looking at Xavier Laflamme in the face and just doesn't break eye contact, and he's just straight punching that guy through his jersey like, hey, look, I'm standing up for you, bitch. It still feels real.
And I didn't laugh out loud because Nema asked me, like, why did this happen? But if I was watching this movie by myself, I probably would have laughed out loud at a second part. When Homeboy asked John Williams Scott, you want to go?
Oh, yeah. The opening scene?
That's fucking hockey. Like, you want to go? Yeah. And then as soon as the face-off goes off, they take their gloves off and start fighting. And then after they get done fighting, Homeboy looks at Sean William Scott and goes, good fight,
nice
man.
Fight. Yeah.
Thank you. Like, at the end of the day, they're not mad at each other. They're fucking hockey players.
Yeah.
So
I tip off for the inaugural tip off for the entire fucking match. They haven't even played yet.
What were some of your honorable mentions, Cole?
Oh God, honorable mentions. So didn't make the scene, but his intro with his first team. The spit it out when he's like talking to that captain who's like, this guy can't play hockey, and then he's trying to talk and be like, oh, I can do this, and he goes, you're a big boy, use your big boy words. And then he gets laid the fuck out because Sean William Scott goes, you know what, fuck it, and just lays him out, throws the hockey stick at the other team members, and starts dropping everybody left and right. That was my 5 scene. Like, it was right on the cusp. I love that scene. It's just too short to be able to call it a Mount Rushmore.
The figure skates made me laugh too.
When he goes, you never seen a gay man skates before? And then I love Doug's his game winner off his ass.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't know what's going on. Then he tries to high five Xavier Laflamme and he's like, oh, you don't know what's going on. But I actually I put, it wasn't on my Mount Rushmore, and we already kind of hashed over it, but the gay porn hard scene and everything about the pep talk that he gives in that scene where he's like, you ever popped a cherry lately? And then delivers the gay porn hard line, and just everything that he delivers in that scene is so great. And he has this little bitch boy secondhand man that you referenced earlier that's kind of like, anything he says, he's going to back it up. I think that the best part of this movie, and which is why, like, when I was texting Jacob, and I'm glad he's back now, but the first 45 minutes.
Whoa! I've been here the whole time. Okay.
Oh, I don't have a camera.
I've heard every honorable mention. Okay.
There's
no reason we should edit this out, asshole.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying, if this was a movie that I liked, I would have stayed for the honorable mentions. Please continue. Yes, I did go piss.
The first 45 minutes I really felt were the tour de force of this movie. And I think that
We're
like when you
using
guys
tour de force on
Yeah.
Goon?
Yes, because and the only reason because you used it on
Okay,
fucking
you know what?
Tropic
You're
Thunder.
not welcome back.
I think you used it
tour de
on
force on Tropic
Scooby
Thunder.
Doo.
You also
Yeah.
did use it on Scooby-Doo.
I have a tattoo of
You
Scooby-Doo on
use
my person.
No, Jacob,
Okay?
fucking you
Tour de
use
force can be
Scooby-Doo
you.
and tour de force and zoinks in the fucking same sentence. I'm welcome back on 3 more episodes minimum.
You know what? I'm a smart enough person to admit when I'm wrong, and you are welcome back on 3 more podcasts minimum just for that, because I decided to talk shit on tour de force. All right, so past the Mount Rushmore scenes, character breakdown. To start off, Doug, one of my favorite things in the movie, and I did laugh out loud at this too, was Glat in Hebrew is fuck you.
Was that actually true though, or is that just for that person that had that written that on their sign?
That's just a badass sign.
Okay.
It's just like, it's like Saquon Barkley is Southern for I'll fuck you up. Like, of course it's not.
God.
I never thought I'd hear the line, the Hebrew Dolph Lundgren in a movie, and I did in this movie.
Also
Yeah.
great.
That was cool. Like I said prior, I really enjoyed Sean William Scott's character. I enjoyed that
we're doing a
different from what he
character.
normally does. Because even Role Models was kind of different, but it was still Sean William Scott.
What was
It was
it?
still,
Exactly.
it was still Stifler. Like there was a difference, but this movie, like you saw his acting chops. And I enjoyed that. And I just wish I enjoyed the movie better, because I did enjoy the main character and how he was portrayed.
I think if we're diving into Sean William Scott's character in this movie, he, like I mentioned earlier, he's like a Ryan Reynolds or a Paul Rudd, where like they typically are the same character in every movie, and this is the one character where he's not a fucking asshole piece of shit, like every woman on the earth loves me, kind of guy. He's a very down to earth. I just love life and I love my family, and for lack of better terms, I don't think that's immediately expressed, but I think him standing up for his gay brother in the "my brother's gay" scene, it just rings true that like he's actually a good dude in this movie. And like even like when Ava, who we'll dive into her character later, says I'm a bad girlfriend, and he's like, oh yeah, well,
You know what?
that's that.
I didn't mention this as an honorable mention, and I hated the love story. I didn't mention that with things I didn't like about this movie. But one of the best scenes of the movie is her telling him she's a shitty person and that she's got a boyfriend, and him pulling out the box of chocolates, the flowers,
And
the little
slamming on
mascot,
the fucking table.
The mascot's so good.
and then him leaving the restaurant and the trash flying in his face.
Oh, it's sticking to his face. That's on my fucking. That's on my sheet right here.
It's such good directing. It's such good shooting. It's incredible. And like I said, I hated the love story. I hated her. I didn't buy it. I hated it. Like, and it's one of those love stories that's just like, it should be cute. It should be fun. But I hated it. But that scene, incredible. Because again, like Sean William Scott, just the way he portrayed it, like the trash flying in his face. How he received the news of her being a shitty person, and he's just like, hey, that's how life works. I just have a really big crush on you, and making out with you was fun. Here's flowers and chocolates, and this is the mascot of the team that I work on. And it's like, it's stupid, but also it's trademark mascot. Like, here you go, and then just walks out. Like, incredible.
And the callback 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times to that doll being official and trademarked by the team is so fucking good. Because even when she's like, I broke up with my boyfriend, he goes, well, you have Angus, and he's official.
I wish I would have noticed that, but I was paying so little attention because I was so bored that I did not realize that joke came up 3 more times. And again, I hated
threes, baby.
I hated the but that was such a good scene. And if I would have noticed that joke, it would have been my fourth laugh out loud moment.
Comedy
So,
comes in threes.
so,
Yeah.
so, so let's just let's talk about the love interest because I actually liked
Yeah.
it because it was never them together for more than 3 minutes
They
at
did
any
that right.
point.
They did that right.
I I loved how again, I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but kind of making fun of the rom-com trope of, like, the boyfriend did nothing wrong, and, like, no, she actually calling out that she is a shitty person that no other rom-coms do, which basically all rom-coms are just centered around just women want to cheat on a guy that's done nothing wrong. And
That's a good guy. Yeah.
I love them kinda calling that out, and
I love them calling that out too, and I think that it was something that should be called out in more movies because not only did they call it out, but they leaned into the fact that, like, the dude that was being hurt for the wrong reasons, right? And that Doug went and let himself get beat up by him because he understood the fact that, like, you're a good guy and Ava's a good girl, and I'm so sorry, and for everything that you're
And
saying, like
I love that about Doug, because like he didn't want this guy to feel like shit. Like it's like
Yes.
I didn't mean to really like your girlfriend. I just really do, and she really likes me. Like
Yes.
she was shitty before she met me. Her not being shitty after she met me is irrelevant of you. It's just
100%.
like we vibe. We're together. Like that's just how this works.
Get
I
along.
don't want to. I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, hit me one more
And
time.
I think my problem with the love story is like, and BJ, I agree with everything that you said, Cole too. Like, I didn't even think about it this way, but I think watching it the first time, I probably would have enjoyed it more if her and Sean William Scott were already a couple and she's being this shitty person because Sean William Scott's a mess and just hasn't found what he's quote unquote meant for. Because again, this movie is just about like, finding what you're meant for and like
yeah,
enjoying what you do and sticking up for people. And then
finding
after he like,
purpose.
yeah, and like they're together, things are rocky, they kind of show that, and then he finds this thing and things maybe don't work out with them completely, but like I can buy that more. Even if they work out
Yeah.
completely. But
Yeah.
again, I didn't think of it the way that y'all said it, and that's good shit. And I hated the love story.
The love story in this movie, so the first time I saw it through and through, I was kind of like I mean, she describes it perfectly, right? Like she says, "I'm a slut and I love hockey players. I love the violence. I love the fighting. I love the shit." That's exactly how she puts it, you know? And like I think that there are women out there that are just into grungy, violent, this, that, or the other. But I think that the part that is redeeming about the relationship with Doug is he's got big fists, he's a taller man, he's got the stature, and he'll beat the fuck out of anybody. But like at the end of the day, like it's a good guy.
Like my score is slowly going up. My fifth laugh out loud moment to this movie is him responding to the first hockey player he's talking shit to. And he's like real awkward. Hey, I'll light your ass back up on fire. Just
Yes.
incredible.
I'll light your ass back up on fire.
Just incredible. And it's that guy that you know can kick your ass.
Yeah.
It's on to Jay Burchell. What I want to say about him is he wanted to adapt this book that he wrote this movie on after noticing a lack of hockey comedies in recent years.
Is that an IMDb facts? I read the same one.
Yeah, I only look at IMDb. You're on
That's fair enough.
IRMFT.
Not since, Slapshot is that's the classic hockey comedy.
I've never seen Slapshot. That's Charlie Sheen, right?
I haven't either.
No, what's his name?
Your pipe,
The
can I
old
see your
guy.
pipe in a like?
I also know what's his name that was in Slapshot. Great actor. Xavier Laflamme.
Laflamme.
I don't have anything to say about this guy. Like he was there. He was in the
I have
movie.
so much to say about him. So yeah.
Go ahead.
Say it.
Okay, so Xavier Laflamme. If we're going to talk about character development, over the course of a movie, in a movie that is Goon, he is the biggest character development. The coach has a standpoint from the beginning that is, I am here to lead a team to success, and I'm about what I am, right? Doug Glatt is the guy, the nice guy that never wavers from what he's doing, and his girlfriend, well, she calls herself what she is. Call it what it is. She's a slut, and isn't anything to. It's not a redeemable character. Ross the Boss Ray, he stands by his guns the whole time. But Xavier LaFlamme, I think he is the most divergent character in the sense that, like, his character changes more than anyone throughout the movie. In the beginning of the movie, you get this character that is a piece of shit, that knows he's the best person in the league that he's in, that he is on top of the world, that no one can touch him, that he is just here to do what he's being paid to do. And they make like a very big emphasis on that. But Doug teaches him that, like, he's not the shit. He was drafted by Montreal, and I don't remember the name of the team of.
Not the Canadians.
Yeah, Montreal. Xavier LaFlamme is clearly the most talented player in the movie. Ross the Boss Ray is there to fight people, and Doug the Thug Glatt is there to fight people. And actually, fun fact, I know we'll get into trivia later, but the guy with the dreadlocks in the beginning of the movie that that Ross the Boss Ray says that you remind me of Prince on steroids in the very opening scene of the movie. He's actually a hockey player who
Nice.
is if you will, goon in the real world of hockey. So it's kind of like a cool, like, that's like a real thing that happens. And there's a lot that happens. And I had to look up the verbiage for it, but the crocodile tears that Ross the Boss Ray sheds later in the movie when he gets suspended for however many games it is actually like a callback to real world NHL, where a player ice checked a player in the back of the head, knocked him out, and ruined his hockey career by doing so. And the player that did that to him cried crocodile tears, fake tears, expressing his sorrow for doing that and how sorry he was and this, that, and the other. And he stayed in the league and the other player never returned. And that was a callback to what actually happened. And in the beginning of the movie Goon, it says based on a true story, because the whole story of Doug Glatt is actually a real thing, that like a goon is a real player in hockey who's just sent out there to, knock people out and not play hockey. Like Ross Ray says when they're meeting in the diner, they're like, we're just here to fuck people up. We're not here to actually play hockey, which is cool. So there's a lot of tropes in this movie that I think a lot of people miss that are very real.
Well, and I'm sure Jacob missed this, but the perfect part of this is the first scene, everybody walks right over the logo with their skates on.
Yeah,
And
so
Doug Glatt walks around it. And then there's another scene, everybody walks around it except LaFlamme. And then the
Yes.
final time, LaFlamme stops right in front of it and sidesteps around it. Like
Yes.
that little stuff that people miss is really key in a movie that really has no business caring about the little things like that. And
Yeah.
and I think that's the best overall representation of LaFlamme.
So
I do agree with that, because that's like, as big of a movie guy as I am, and when I watch movies, I can overlook big plot holes and miscues and whatever, because like I'm just trying to watch a movie and be entertained. Like I give Bob a 10 out of 10. Okay, like I know what I'm trying to get out of movies.
you gave what a 10 out of 10?
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
You cut out and I heard the Babadook and I was like, oh.
No, the Babadook's shitty. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay.
But
yes, I would also put a 11 out of 10. So yes.
But I love that about Goon too. It's one of my things that like I didn't even think about until BJ brought up. Just those little things. Because like I appreciate those things. Like Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. John Travolta went and took a shit a bunch because he was on heroin. And that happens when you're on heroin. It's great. Ellis in Die Hard was the most annoying shit in the entire world because he was doing blood. And as BJ and I have said on this podcast, the most annoying people in this world are people on blow. Like
That's really interesting, though.
and Goon does a good job at just like those little things, those small things, and
Doom 1 or
it,
Doom 2?
huh?
Doom 1 or Doom 2?
Beat
Dune
what?
1
Die
or
Hard.
Dune 2? Oh, you
Oh,
said Die Hard.
Die Hard. Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I've only seen Dune 1 so far, and it was pretty good. But I'm talking about Die Hard. Like Ellis and Die Hard is like if you haven't seen Die Hard in a long time, because
No, yeah,
why
fair.
did
I feel
why
so
do
dumb for what I just said. Yeah,
why
but
did you
yes.
ask me if I talked about Dune? Because Die Hard doesn't sound like Dune. That's neither here nor there. Go watch Die Hard, okay? Like
I've seen both,
it's
yeah.
one of the best action movies and movies of all time. Why did you ask me if I talked about Dune? Obviously, the answer is Die Hard.
Yes. And
Now that that's out of the way, anything else you need to say about y'all's character breakdown?
so I think oh, wow. Jacob, you killed that. I think my character breakdown. Okay. I've already mentioned that the only aspect of this movie that I didn't like was
That
the
Liv Schreiber
fact
didn't have more screen time.
No,
No.
Eugene Levy
No,
not
no, no.
being funny. Levy not
Oh,
being
Correct.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Okay, because I'm
Eugene
looking
Levy
at
not
character
being
breakdown and I don't see Eugene Levy, but like I understand where we're at now. I'm all caught up.
Yeah, it was Eugene Levy not being funny. That's my one critique on this movie. And Kim Coates, I mean, I want to pose the question. As a non-host to such a wonderful podcast that I love, what
Stop
are y'all's
sucking our
I'm
penises, okay? Jesus.
not gonna suck penis. I'll be on at least one more episode. That's not gonna buy me 2 episodes. What is
One a
what
month for 50 months.
You
for
bought
$50, will you guys let me be on another show? No, if for
you
for
bought
nothing.
you bought 3 more guest appearances on the show because of calling me out in a tour de force with Scooby Doo.
Yeah, fuck your tour de force.
Because like I understand that I rate James up 10 out of 10. I know it's not a 10 out of 10. I know
No.
it sits right around a 5. Okay? Like I'm not stupid. Like I know that's where it sits. But
I
when
wanna
Will Ferrell
know
parks his fucking moped on a burning van and goes, "Who let the cats out?" I laugh every time. Okay?
I know you guys already had a Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back episode, but Jacob, you and I we'll have that discussion when you're back in the States. Anyway,
Before we leave character breakdown, Liv Schreiber, like I said, just an incredible handlebar mustache. On IRMFT, we're going to do Tombstones soon. And BJ and I will probably spend 20 minutes metaphorically jerking off to the greatness of the mustaches in Tombstone. The weakest mustache is Johnny Ringo, and that dude's a badass. You know what I mean?
And it's incredible.
It's incredible. It's an incredible mustache, and it's the weakest one. Like, we rode Tom Selleck's, Matthew Quigley's mustache the entire 2-hour podcast of Quigley Down Under. This guy's mustache is amazing, and I'm segueing this because I don't have anything to say about Liv Schreiber. He should have been in this movie more. He's good. All I'm saying is I've been in Colombia since October 30th, okay? I've gotten no comments about my beard. And 2 days ago, I'm walking across this walkway to get on the bus, and this guy with a very attractive Colombia woman, and he's attractive too. Like, he's just a good-looking dude with a beard. He's just like, he looks at me and goes, "Hey, yeah." And like, he says some stuff in Spanish. I don't remember it. Like, at the time, I knew what he said. I know enough Spanish to like catch a handful of words. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, that's the first time in Colombia. I was in Southeast Asia last year. I was called Ho Chi Minh like 5 times. And I don't know if y'all have ever been referenced by looks to a revolutionary freedom fighter fighting for their people. But when some dude looks at me and says, "Ho Chi Minh," I'm like, fuck yeah. On that flip side, I also got from people in Vietnam, they would touch their stomachs and go, "Happy Buddha," because I'm a bald big guy. So like, you know, but this guy's mustache was incredible. That's all I have to say about Liv Schreiber.
His whole look was awesome.
Yeah.
The hair flowing out of the back of the hockey helmet, just
overleaf. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks incredible. Like I said earlier, I was like, I didn't think we were still doing Hot Guy January.
Like, I have a 6-inch beard and my mustache is weak. Pablo Schreiber, Liv Schreiber's brother, Orange is the New Black, has a porn stash and is a rapist, but still doesn't look like one. because he has that
I
strong
have
of a facial hair game. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
have
it's just
a
incredible facial hair, and I'm jealous of it because, again, 5-inch beard, 6-inch beard, weak mustache game, incredible handlebar mustache. I could never do it. That's
I
all I have
have
to say about Liv
a
Schreiber.
2-inch mustache, but not the strength. Like my mustache grows quick. The beard does not grow long. Gets puffy, but this is like 2 days. So I'm on the same page as you from a different aspect.
So
This before that.
most of the time, BJ rocks a full beard, but every once in a while,
BJ's beard is intimidating to me. It's
every,
so much shorter than mine.
no, he has black hair and it's thick hair. So he rocks a beard most of the time. But every once in a while, he'll pull a Tom Selleck from Quigley Down Under and shave everything off but his
Oh, that
mustache.
pumpkin
And
statue, hell yeah.
he won't really twirl it like those disgusting people that come out to restaurants and are just showing off their mustache. He just slightly twirls it. Just a little dignified. And it's incredible. I wish I had a better mustache game. And that's all I say about Liv Schreiber.
If I'm scared to shave my beard because I don't know if I have a double chin or not now.
No, have no idea what I was saying, so please go into trivia. I want to hear it.
All right. So my trivia for this week, and even with movies I don't like trivia is so good.
It's the best.
It's just so good. There's a lot of hockey trivia that I put on here for our hockey fans. So you too. The film is based on the book Goon, the true story of an unlikely journey into the minor league hockey by Adam Fratisio and Douglas Smith. Footage from Smith's career as a hockey enforcer is shown during the film credits. With this being said, one of the fun things to tell them about this movie is how integral minor league hockey, basketball, and baseball is to the major leagues. Because like Nima being a Kenyan immigrant and me teaching her football and her really getting into football, she had no idea about that. Like, I was like, like a major league baseball team can draft you and then put you in the minor leagues because you have such raw talent, but you're just not good at baseball yet. So that was fun. The restaurant where the Glatt family dines is Kalekis. It's a well-known Winnipeg establishment that has since been closed. Sean William Scott's signed photo on the wall is a homage to the Kalekis Wall of Fame seen in the film, which is signed photos of famous people who dined there over the years. One of the photos is that of John Candy, a close friend of Eugene Levy, and unfortunately, with Kalekis being closed, it was John Candy's favorite restaurant.
Is it a Lebanese place in real life too?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You're
I love that guy.
Nice.
Free donaires for everybody. Free donaire sauce for everybody.
Oh, pretty donaire sauce.
Amudi, water down the donaire sauce.
That kind of reminds me of the soup guy from Seinfeld. Larry Wu was working as a firefighter in Winnipeg at the time of the production of this film. He also, if y'all don't know his name or anybody else, played on major junior hockey teams, both Victoria Cougars and Swift Current Broncos. He was one of the best skaters in the cast, so the filmmakers frequently used him for scenes where the Highlanders players are shown handling the puck.
Yeah, hockey's easy to do that because you can't really see anybody because they're in full hockey gear.
Fair. The scene where Doug scores a goal with his butt really happened. In the year 2000, minor league player Doug Mann scored a goal in overtime for the Columbus Cottonmouths of Central Hockey League when the puck deflected off his butt to send them to Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon thing in hockey. You get in front of the net and there's tips and rebounds and it happens. You get a butt goal.
Love butt goals.
She doesn't love a good butt goal.
BJ, real quick with the names Victoria Cougars and Swift Current Broncos. Is minor league hockey as cool as minor league baseball as someone who watches neither sport but has fallen in love with what you've told me about minor league baseball?
Not in terms of team names. It's not even close.
Okay. Cole, BJ and I aren't the kind of friends that do things for each other or buy each other gifts or whatever. We're not those kind of friends. We just have a podcast together
yeah.
and we talk a lot,
Yeah.
But BJ has enlightened my life to the greatness of minor league baseball. You have the Savannah Bananas,
The best team ever.
the El Paso Chihuahuas. Like, BJ and I have a thing in common where we love bits, and of course, one of the only gifts he's buying me in our lifetime friendship is the hat to an awesome minor league baseball team, which is why I had to ask, are they similar? Because I love minor league baseball. The Savannah Bananas. Like,
The Sugarland Space Cowboys.
thank you. The Sugarland Space Cowboys. It's incredible.
Oh my god.
It's
No.
it's so awesome. My next trivia, Kurt Kelbeck, who plays the role of Half-Life's play-by-play announcer, is actually a former National Hockey League play-by-play announcer. The polite offer to fight Glatt, one of my favorite scenes. So the polite offer to fight Glatt received from Albany Patriots Huntington is actually based on a real fight in the NHL where Georges was playing for the Phoenix Coyotes and was mic'd for the game. He politely asked Ratnis Ivanis from the Los Angeles Kings if he wanted to go, then wished him good luck on November 30th, 2006. Just
Good
incredible.
luck. Good luck kicking my ass, bud.
Yep. The scene where Ray Sheed's crocodile tears during a press conference, reference to NHL player Todd Baruzzi. Baruzzi, playing for Vancouver Canucks at the time, punched Colorado Avalanche's Steve Moore in the back of the head during a game, causing an injury that would end Moore's career. In a press conference afterwards, an emotional Baruzzi tearfully apologized for the incident, which cost him $500,000 salary reduction and a 17-month suspension.
Damn.
And then my
So,
last
yeah.
two, more NHL stuff. Mike Ritchie, the former NHL center, can be seen several times playing for the Half-Life Highlanders. And Georges Lecroux, the former NHL enforcer, has a small role as an enforcer for the Albany Patriots. His character fights both Glatt and Ray during the movie.
That's the big guy with the dreads?
I
No.
have no idea.
No, the big guy with the dreads is actually an NHL player that took that part for that specific reason to be an enforcer.
Awesome.
Nice. Hell.
That's
BJ,
his whole job in the NHL.
Oh yeah, my last bit of box off or trivia is the box office. This movie kind of floored me. This movie kind of floored me in its box office budget. It had a budget of $12 million. Would y'all like to know how much? Would y'all like to know the gross worldwide?
Yes, absolutely, I would.
Just under 7 mil. This movie got a sequel.
So
Yeah, it's very low.
I don't remember this movie in like theaters or being advertised. I just know that I saw it at Blockbuster one day and I was like, oh, Stifler in a hockey movie? Okay.
And I understand cult movies having more of a DVD sales than their box office return. But how does a movie that had a $12 million budget only make 7, whether you know about it or not, get a
So
sequel? They got a sequel. That's not how cult
remember-
classics work.
Hockey's just not popular in the States.
that too.
And speaking of the DVD run for a cult classic, great DVD cover of this movie. Incredible.
BJ, do we have impersonations for this movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna because there's two accents. You basically have a Canadian or a Boston accent to choose from,
God
and I'll
damn
let you
it.
choose whichever one you want to do.
I'm gonna be so bad at this. Cole, you are more than welcome to go second after BJ or third after me. BJ always leads.
All right, listen here, you fucking hoser. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop the fucking mitts. We're gonna fight. I'm gonna go fuck your mother, and then we're gonna be best friends and get some fucking Timmy Hortons together. All right? Deal.
That was pretty good. Cole, would you like to go second or third? No, it's okay.
I laughed so hard that I don't remember which one of you made the quote that you made, but I actually fell out of my seat and it unplugged my headset from my computer. And then when I plugged it back in, I was desperately asking if you could hear me.
Do you hear that, listeners? Tell your friends about this podcast. It's fucking hilarious.
I remember
People
my
fall-
first time I popped a fucking cherry, and it was funny.
People are falling out of their seats, okay?
Whose impersonation am I doing?
You can do either Canadian or Boston accent.
Oh, fuck. So I gotta go Mark Wahlberg or Canadian Land, eh? Okay. You both went?
No, you are more than welcome to go last if you want to.
Let me go
You're
last.
second, though. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Wait, hold on. Who went first? Who went first?
BJ
BJ?
always goes first, yes.
BJ, can I read yours, please? I missed it.
All right, motherfucker, here's the deal. We're gonna drop the mitts. We're gonna fight. We're gonna brawl. I'm gonna hit you. You're gonna hit me. Then I'm gonna fuck your mother. Then we're gonna go get some Timbits from Timmy Hortons.
Was that the captain of the the team?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going for.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
and-
great.
And
It was kind of a mix between the captain and the coach.
Cole, when you listen to this episode when it comes out live, that cut won't make it because his first cut was such a polite but rude Midwesterner.
So
And like with working the last 2 seasons in upstate Michigan during the summer, BJ nailed it. He nailed it.
The first go was the one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I can't wait to hear it. I missed it because I'm sorry, my headset unplugged and it just would not reconnect until I rejoined the link.
Cole, the only reason this whole segment will stay in, even BJ's lackluster second impersonation, is because you found something so funny on our shitty movie podcast that you fell out of your chair and your headphones unplugged.
That's exactly
We had technical difficulties because you laughed so hard.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. I fell out and my headset unplugged.
That doesn't happen on I Remember My First Time. This whole thing might make it, okay? Do not be sorry.
Oh, no.
If anything, touch yourself later.
I already did. I can't come 3 times.
Yes, you can.
So you've got donair sauce everywhere.
I'm really sorry to do this to you. I've never done this before, ever. Okay? I'm from the South. Real. Like, I'm like country, East Texas. If I would have stayed in East Texas and graduated from high school, my graduating class would have been 36. Okay? Like, I'm from the fucking middle of nowhere.
Yep.
I'm not even going to attempt a Boston or Canadian accent. I won't do it. I won't do it, okay? So I'm going to lie, seat, and chill here and just talk about last week with John Oliver. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was last year. And it was before Trump won the presidency. And it was when, I forget which town it was. I believe it's in Ohio where the Haitian immigrants went. And Trump said that the Haitian immigrants are eating cats and dogs and people's pets. And this became a whole thing. And there was a city council meeting where this racist piece of shit showed up and threatened the city government that if they kept letting Haitians come into their neighborhood, they would regret their decisions. And the lead councilman of the city went, no, we're not going to have this. You're not going to threaten us. You're going to be taken out right now. You're done talking. Will you please escort him out? Thank you, but also not really. And John Oliver immediately pauses and he goes, I don't know if anyone's ever been to the Midwest, but saying thank you, pausing, but not really, is basically a Midwesterner saying, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. And
they're so nice.
They're the nicest people in the world. Even if they're fucking hateful, it's incredible. And BJ fucking landed it. Cole, your turn. Sorry I did that to you. Eddie Guerrero, lie, steat, and chill. Lie, steat, chill, and cheat.
You hit me with a lie, and chill right now.
I know, and I've never done this the entire time of our podcast. I'm sorry to do that to you. So you're welcome. You're also more than welcome, like Bert did. Again, our funniest member we've ever had on the podcast. He decided to do one of his stand-up bits. Also, he had an hour-long stand-up set. So you're more than welcome to do something else in an impersonation, but following role models.
Okay, so if we're just talking about if we're just talking about the movie we just all discussed for the last almost 3 hours, I'd have a lot to bring to the table. As far as an impersonation goes, I actually pat myself on the back regularly for my impersonation skills. I do a really good Trump, which I don't know what the average.
Do Trump as a goon on the ice.
Oh, perfect, BJ. Incredible. Cole, I'm ready for this. Take a couple seconds. Trump as a goon on the ice.
A Trump as a goon on the ice. Okay. Give me one or 2 seconds. Okay. All right.
I'm so excited for this impersonation, probably more than I've ever been.
I'm gonna do my best.
I listened to my white middle-aged friend try to impersonate Rosie Perez, so
I'm gonna do my
please.
best, and I apologize in advance if it's not great. So
you're only making fun of a fake fascist. Please continue.
You wanted me to be the best goalie there ever was. Okay. But you asked me to not let any goals. Okay. But when you asked me to not let any goals, the Halifax Highlanders, they didn't have a great team. Okay. And Donnie J, I came to the team, I brought him a lot of greatness. Okay. And when I brought him the greatness, we went 5-0. 5-0, okay? You look at the record before I came. Canada built we built the infrastructure before I came. Canada built the presidents. Okay. Donnie J, I took over. I made Halifax a great team again. Okay. Canada paid for the team. Mexico paid for the team.
Cole.
Mexico paid for the team.
Yeah, ended on Canada paid for the team.
Yeah, no, end it there. That's the high. That's the high point.
That's the height.
The only thing that could have made it better if you referenced red, white, and blue land.
I was about to get there.
No. But it wasn't natural. It wasn't natural. Okay. But what I will say is everybody can do the high and low thing that he does at the end of his sentences. You do such a great job at the consistent high part of his voice.
That was okay. For the high part, okay.
That was incredible.
That was great. I'm now obsessed with like Donald Trump sports talk now.
That was incredible. I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cole. That sometimes we have guests on the pod, especially first-time guests, that get real awkward with the impersonation segment, and they won't do it. And you fucking killed it.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
Thank you, guys.
That was incredible.
I don't want to be the enforcer, okay? But Barack Obama, he's a little bitch, okay?
Just so good. So good. And it's funny because when you said I do a great Donald Trump impersonation, my immediate thought was, of course you do. Everybody does. Like I do a good Donald Trump impersonation, but not like that. That was great.
Thank you. That's my favorite impersonation. That between the Donald Trump and Barack Obama and a George Bush. Those are like my 3 favorite that I love to do.
So. Those are great. Okay, so final thoughts on the movie in general. BJ, you start. What's your rating of this movie?
I'm taking a page out of the Jacob playbook. I think this is a 8.5. It is directly between an 8 and a 9 for me. It is a criminally underrated movie, especially for a sports movie.
Okay. Cole, would you like to go second or do you want me to go second?
I would love for you to go second.
Okay, so I came into this pod rating this movie a straight up 4.
Wow.
I was bored. I was upset that we did this movie. I knew it would be fun to talk about because there was a lot of funny things for it, and it would be funny that I hated it because this movie is made for me. After having a good time and realizing these things that I might have noticed while watching it, but didn't put two and two together. I'm gonna give this movie a straight up 6. I'll probably never,
Wow.
I'll probably never watch it again, and never want to.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 points up, and I appreciate that.
So
Through
I'm giving it a 6. Like I said, I'll probably never watch it again. And there are many 6 out of 10 movies that I will rewatch, and happily.
Where
But
did
this is
Jurassic Park land
but
for you on the unreleased episode?
one more time.
Where did Jurassic Park land for you on the unreleased episode?
I can't remember, but I think I probably gave it a 7 or 8. Like Jurassic Park's an all-time great blockbuster. Helped
I know
change
you gave
CGI.
Jaws an 8, so
Yeah,
that's,
and even Jaws, like I wasn't like crazy impressed with, but I also like just as a movie and how they did it. Like
no,
like
yeah, and that's why I
no,
respect what
and not all 6s
6.5?
are created equal. Like I'll probably never, and that's why I said like I'll probably never watch this again. And there are many 6s that I will rewatch. I brought
This
this.
movie's this movie's not trying to be a 10.
No, which is one thing that I like about it. Like, yeah,
You would never watch this again?
no, probably not. But because I have enjoyed this so much and enjoyed talking about it, I'll watch the sequel.
It's actually already 2.
Whatever. If it doesn't have Sean William Scott, I'm not watching it, and I'm only watching
Both
the
of them
sequel
do.
because of how great the violence was shot in this movie. If I watch the sequel and it's not as good as the first movie, I'm not even pretending to turn on the third.
So the second one is Dune: The Last Enforcer. Did I say Dune? Goon.
You did.
Goon: The Last Enforcer.
Give me Timothy Chalamet as a goon right now.
Oh my god, I weigh 78 pounds. I'm gonna blow away in the wind. But I love to fuck people up. I'm doing Donald Trump as a 78-pound man. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry.
I weigh 78 pounds, but I'm a racist.
I feel like you'll have the highest rating of the movie. What's your rating?
For Goon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go 8.4. I'm gonna go 8.4. And
But
a very confident 8.4.
And that's okay, because I'm a confident 10 out of 10 for Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. And 8.4 doesn't surprise me, because out of nowhere, you hit me up and you're like, hey, when you're down to do Goon, I'm down. Like, I don't like, we haven't emphasized this enough on this podcast. We had this conversation last Friday or Saturday. Today's Thursday. On Tuesday, I talked to BJ. Like we mentioned earlier, the only real holiday in the entire world is Stone Cold Day on Austin 316. So BJ reminded me that my birthday episode takes a back seat because
Stone Cold's more important than you.
Because next Thursday is 316. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, let's try to record 2 episodes this week. Can you do that, BJ? And BJ's like, yeah, maybe. What movie are you thinking? And I knew I had BJ. I was like, Goon. And he talked about it a couple weeks before. I'd already told him that you hit me up and wanted to be on the pod. And here we are. All that happened in the span of 4 days. And here we are on almost a 3-hour podcast. I'm so upset about the 3-hour length time. Like, fuck you, Cole.
I am not upset about any of that.
No, fuck
For
you.
a 90-minute movie.
And this motherfucker who hit me up and was like, dude, your podcast is cool. I want to be on the podcast. And I was like, hey, I'm down for you to be on the podcast. Let's do this. When are you free? And then I texted you 2 or 3 times after that. And I had already told Beach, I was like, hey, this guy who's really into movies wants to be on the podcast. I think it'll be good. And Beach is like, all right, cool. 4 days later, I'm like, I've texted this motherfucker 4 times. Okay. He hasn't responded once. And Beach is like, fuck that guy. Like this is just a stupid movie podcast. If he doesn't even want to text you, fuck him. And I was like, I agree. And about 4 or 5 months ago, Cole hit me up and was like, hey, I still listen to your podcast. It's fucking awesome. And we're a shitty movie podcast, but I agree. This is fucking awesome. It's incredible. We do incredible work. And I told BJ, I was like, dude, this guy hit me up and said, we have an awesome podcast and he wants to be on. And then 2 weeks ago, he was like, yo, dude, fuck you. I want to be on. I hit you up 3 months ago. Like, let's do Goon. And here we are. And I say all that to say, fuck you, Cole. I've had such a good time. And how the fuck is this 3 hours long? Like, go fuck yourself, you 5'4" motherfucker.
Suck my dick, you 6'1" pussy.
Are you taller than 5'4"?
I'm 5'9".
Wow. Okay.
A Ben
You
Shapiro 5'9" or an
Ben
actual
Shapiro's
5'9"?
racist, so I'm gonna get myself. If you're talking, if this is Ben Shapiro's um standards, I'm 7'3". But
Cole, Cole,
but
Cole.
yeah,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I said you were 5'4", because in the same podcast that is now the longest podcast we've ever done with a first time
I heard
guest
that
or
part.
us two, I am now able to shit on not only my stepdad but my real dad, who is only 5'4" and is a
The
racist piece of
piece
shit.
of shit, motherfucker.
Like, you're 5'9". I
I'm,
love that. Like, thank you for calling me out on my bullshit. God.
I'm 5'9" on a good day.
So I have some 10
Nah,
out of 10 reviews, and I have two. We
I'm
on IRMFT, we love our one-liners. And from David Avid Edwards, 10 out of 10, titled Yes. And y'all are both gonna love this. Gladiatorial epic as a quote dumb comedy.
Love it. Love it. He's
yeah,
the first
depending
person
that
to
way.
ever compare Gladiator and Goon.
I compared Gladiator and Goon like 3 hours ago.
Second person ever. So from Patricio-53898, more of a serious. The reviews for this movie kind of suck. So kind of more of on a serious note. The great thing about Goon is that when you get right down to it, it's not a sports movie. Hockey in the sticks and skate sense of the word. Any fan of hockey can tell you to great length about the bizarre and unique position of the Goon, a player with minimal hockey skills who is utilized solely to defend the more talented players, keep defenders from the opposing teams honest, and beat the snot out of someone, should the need arise. It's such a niche talent, yet an important one in terms of motivation, spirit, and the tone of a hockey team. That's what this movie is about. It's about the utilizing the gifts you were given, carving out a place in the world for you and your talents, and the basic human need to belong to a team, a romantic relationship, a family. The movie goes out of its way to tell you that protagonist Doug, the thug Glatt, is not a hockey player. All Doug wants is to wear a uniform and use his talents to help the people he cares about, and I think we can all relate to that. On a more technical note, the performances of the film are exceptional, particularly those of Sean William Scott, who gives the best performance of his career, for my money, as a simple, kind-hearted Glatt, and Liv Schreiber as another veteran goon, Ross the Boss Ray, looking to go out swinging. It also features hilarious performance role as the wisecracking best friend, and Kim Coates. Kim Coatesing it up as the coach of Halifax. But what surprised me was how well the movie functions as both a comedy and a surprisingly sweet love story. Long story short, don't let the title of this movie throw you off. Goon is an excellent film.
This did remind me of the line of the movie when he sees Ava crying and he goes, "Did you just watch Rudy?"
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite lines in the entire movie.
Speaking of it being one of your favorite lines, Cole, do you like or dislike Rudy?
I'm a big Samwise Gamgee fan.
Well, luckily that wasn't my question. I asked if you liked or disliked Rudy.
Do I like or dislike Rudy? Okay, so I'm a big sports movie fan.
It's a yes or no question.
I love Aston, but I'm gonna go with no, because that movie is a 2013 word that I can't say anymore.
Does it start
BJ,
with an R and end with an E-tarded?
No, it starts with a G and ends with a
A?
also no.
so we're gonna move on
It starts
from
with
this
a
real
G. It
quick.
starts with a letter that ends in hey.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna move on from this real quick. BJ has a great explanation of Rudy. BJ, real quick.
Yeah,
Philadelphia Eagles,
it
hey.
sucks. It's about a guy who sucks at football and probably should have given up because he spent way too many hours of his life doing something he's terrible at.
And Cole, being someone who's good at building up suspense in tense situations, you being a big sports fan and movie guy. I almost thought you were going to say you liked it, and then you said you didn't, and now you have a great page in BJ's book because I like the movie.
Oh, you like Rudy?
Yeah, I fucking like Rudy. Why wouldn't I like the Rudy? It's about a
Um,
steel worker, Notre Dame football, and he gets picked up and put on people's shoulders at the end of the film. Like, yeah, I know he's bad at football, but good job for keep trying. But also, I understand BJ's critique, and
okay.
like I said,
So
you have a forever love in BJ's heart. Real quick, my bad review from Crime Scat, 2 out of 10. Titled So Predictable, a blind man could see the whole script. It really shows how dumbed down our society is when I see 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 ratings for a script that has been done so many times that it's like a burnt steak. The original movie, Youngblood, which is what this movie ripped off on in so many ways, has nothing to worry about if this dribble is rated a 10. At best, it shows a guy that is autistic or he has social cues. He has no idea about social cues, but can take a beating and throw a few back. At worst, I should have turned it off after 5 minutes and rewatched the movie Youngblood to get the emotional high that so many people talked about watching this movie. Overall, this was like watching a C-grade version of Youngblood or Major League. And if this giving society an emotional high, then the government needs to ease up on the amount of fluoride they are putting in the water. I rated
Boy,
2 out of
why are you reading RFK Jr. reviews?
I rated 2 out of I rated 2 out of 10 only because I have a soft spot for the main actor in the movie. But even his performance was below average.
I think that was Randy Savage, Jacob. That was Macho Man. That
It-
wasn't even.
No matter what it was hard to do, okay? So fuck you.
BJ, that was your review.
Like, what do you mean script that's been done 1,000 times? We don't even know if the team won or not.
I'm just like, just like David said in the movie Lift that we released this week that I edited by myself. I'm not ignorant to the fact that all stories are copies of other stories.
Oh,
Like-
I'm not saying it's original. I'm saying like
No,
I don't
and
find this script cookie cutter.
but that's what I'm saying is like this guy saying that. I'm just like, well, duh. It's a sports movie. Like you said, like at least we had a team that wasn't Remember the Titans breaking racial barriers and going to the state championship, which never fucking happened. This is like semi-pro, where you trade a washing machine for Woody Harrelson. I appreciate those films.
I guess the question is now, you recommend this to people?
No, absolutely not.
Well, I recommended it to you because I thought it was perfect for you, and apparently I was wrong.
Cole?
I I recommend this movie to anyone who likes comedies. Period. Point blank. Outright.
Okay.
End of story.
Fair. With that being said, Cole, you are our first ever guest that actually has pluggables. You're a photographer. Where can we find your work?
Mm. I appreciate the plug. I do have my photography, and I have recently started charging people for that. So, on J_Cole on Instagram, that is my direct link for my photography skills. And shameless plug because I mentioned it to my cousin earlier, but my cousin is a rapper, Roger D on Instagram. That was where we'll leave that at. Roger D. Great music. Just got produced by Mac Miller's producer. So
Nice.
Roger D, and he's got the D. You heard it first on IRMFT, where you remember your first D.
Oh, yeah.
did you just put my cousin's name in bars? Thank you.
And I'm
Yes,
not a
Roger
rapper
D.
or a
But he's
poet,
not a rapper.
but I fucking did it. And now you have to have Roger D bring his D to our D to listen to our. That was bad, but you know what? Like I'm going with it. It doesn't
I
matter.
thought you were gonna say I'm not a poet, but you know it. Roger D is the man for me.
That would have been incredible.
He's my cousin and he's a rapper. So Roger D, Look 'em up.
Check out Roger D. Check out Cole's photography. We
Oh,
don't really care if you check out us.
BJ,
BJ, that was great. Check out
that
Roger
was so
D and
good.
Cole's photography.
Yeah.
Dude, we're playing it right now. Why doesn't our podcast make money? Like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, this is incredible. That being said, Cole, it was great having you. Hopefully, the next time you're on, it's not a 3-hour podcast. This is fucking ridiculous. I do not look forward to editing this at all.
Oh, I can't wait for you guys to do it. And I hope it doesn't get as a cancel episode like Jurassic Park.
Hopefully, BJ has
Alright.
the MP3 at Jurassic Park. But anyways, that's us at RMFT. BJ, do your thing.
Bye.